Hello, welcome back to my channel in Mexico. Bienvenidos a mi canal. God, I'm gonna get it. Whenever I say things in my head, they come out so well, and then I go to say it. It's like I just don't have a Mexican mouth. I don't know. I don't have a Spanish speaking mouth. I'll get it one day. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna get an instructor. I'm gonna go on italki for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Anyway, welcome back. Let's do another Reddit reaction, very similar to the one I just did. I'm gonna be very transparent about I record 2 videos at a time and I post them 2 weeks apart. So there you go. There are no surprises about when a video will be coming, and that's how I stay consistent, And so there are no surprises about when a video will be coming, what I will be wearing in the next video. So anyway, doing a Reddit reaction. Let's get into it. I already got the topic picked out. Let's go. Okay, the life pro tips request is how to stop worrying. And this person actually has a little novel to share with us. So, my life has been busy with work and life wise. It's so stressful. I'm getting very tired that I question myself if I'm doing good enough, if I did something right, if I should have done something different. It's affecting my sleep. I literally wake up every day for the past few days at 3 a.m. and I can't sleep. After that, thinking and worrying. I know I need to stop worrying and tell myself I shouldn't worry about silly stuff and it's going to pass, but I can't stop. I know tonight will be another almost sleepless night. Any advice on how to overcome this? Some mental training, some YouTube, anything. I can't take medicine right now due to some other health. That's whack. I like sleeping. Sometimes this does happen to me. I wake up at 3 a.m. and I can't stop. I wouldn't say that I'm worrying. I would just say that my brain is just actively doing something. So I use those moments to write. But I actually have some concrete tips to share. So, but maybe that's another one. So the first thing I was gonna say is come back into the present. Like when you're worrying, you are living in the future. There's a saying, it's like anxiety means you're living in the future. Depression means you're living in the past. And if you're living in this moment, then you're watching YouTube. So be in this moment right here. There's nothing happening, and yet everything is happening at the same time. If you're sitting here watching YouTube, that means you're not. Maybe you are at work, but it means you have enough time to do this, and you're doing it, and you're gonna finish this video. I know you are. So just be in this moment, and then whatever is coming, it will come when it has to come. Especially if at 3 a.m. it's you have so much time until the world wakes up and starts doing things, and it's at 3 a.m. just be in the bed. Distract your brain by saying wow, these pillows are nice. Wow, this blanket feels so warm. Wow, it's really dark in here. Or wow, is that a siren going on? Focus your brain on things that are happening in the moment around you. And in some instances, maybe you could wake up. If you know you're not sleeping, I'll be okay, I'm not getting back to sleep. I need to do something. I'll get up and I'll brain dump and just dump all the things that I'm worrying about, which are this is usually how my Monday mornings go, because I have so much shit in my head, because I'm shit, the week's starting, I'm at work, I have to do all this stuff, I have to record, I have to edit, I have to do this. So I just brain dump everything I have to do. I'm okay, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. My brain also wants to do this and this and this and that. I have to plan for this trip. And then I get them all out and I'm what can I tackle right now? So I write everything down, and then I have my 3 highlighters. I have a green one, a yellow one, and a red one. And I start with the green one, and I'm what absolutely, positively must I do now, today? And then I highlight the things. And then I'm what could possibly, probably wait until, tomorrow or the day after that, or this week. And then I highlight those things. And then you go through, and then you say okay, what is on this list that I could put off, to the end of the month or do later, that just doesn't have to get done, but it's taking up mental space in my brain. And I highlight those things. And then once you have that list, it's you have organized what all of this jumble in your head that you were worrying about. And then you have a concrete, something tangible that you can look at that just tells you what to do. And that works wonders for me. So maybe it'll work wonders for you. Okay, the second tip: give yourself evidence and data points against what you're worrying about. Ask yourself if this thing is likely to happen. Ask yourself if it's happened before, how did you handle it? That's great. That means you've actually come up with a solution for the thing that you're worried about, and you know how to handle it. And then if it hasn't happened, role play what you would do if it did happen. Then you have a plan to work through for what you would do. If you're worrying about something that hasn't happened, then you have another data point, okay, have you ever been fired from work? Have you ever just been fired lost your job completely, couldn't find another one, ended up homeless. And I get it. Like, things are different now, but it's like, you have to like walk yourself back on the evidence that you have right now. What's the likelihood that all of those things are going to happen in that sequential order? Like, you probably have family you can fall back on. You probably have like skills that you could put into a resume to try to find another job. So you probably, hopefully you have like money saved up. It's like not going to be the end of the world, especially whatever you're worrying about at 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., you have at least 5 more hours to do something about whatever it is you're worrying about. Give your brain something productive to do. I think if your brain is like overworking on ruminating or focusing on this like one thing that you're worried about, it's like you need to exercise your brain. The brain is a muscle, it needs to be worked out. And I think you could also direct it, like channel the energy. Like, your brain is putting all this energy into worrying, like put it into a brain training exercise. I have an app that I use called Elevate, and it's like it'll train my brain on like different math things, figuring out percentages, like equivalents of fractions or percentages, subtraction, multiplication. Like, it just trains you on things. It also trains you on like calculating tip, really like kind of mundane things, but it gets my brain to working and figuring out solutions. It also helps me like proofread. It also helps improve my memory. So I'm exercising my brain, keeping your mental faculties healthy, but it's also giving your brain something to do. Another thing to do would be to learn a language. It just gives your brain something to do besides worry, which is not good. You're like training your brain, exercising your brain in a different way, because right now it's just spiraling and doing its own thing, but you want to focus your brain. Our brains are there to help us. Obviously, we worry about things because we had to when we were like, living in caves or whatever. And it's like, maybe a monster is outside. And like, that's not the world we live in today. A monster. Why would a monster be outside a cave? Maybe a lion's outside, or, a mountain lion, which is actually really terrifying to think about. But, having your brain work through and solve problems is a natural human thing. Your brain is meant to do that. So you can channel that by giving it something to do constructively, in like math and reading. And maybe you improve your memory. I find that I can remember things a lot longer. When I first started this, I had trouble like remembering the points that I would write down or scripts. And I still use assistants, but I've noticed that I can remember things and I can even articulate better. I have more words, vocabulary to use. So actually, that's the main point. Train your brain. If you have anxiety and you're worrying about stuff, focus that brain in a good way. So I hope some of those tips can help you. Let's see what people at Reddit have to say. I always have a million things going on and don't want stuff to fall through the cracks. I make lists. Checklists on my phone before bed, things I have to do the next day, usually. Work, personal, whatever. I tell myself I'll start checking things off at 9 a.m. Yeah, just organizing yourself can be very helpful. Get organized. Yeah, this is a great tip. And in general, if something is within your control, then there's no reason to worry about it because you can control it. If something is totally out of your control, then there's nothing you can do. So don't worry about it. Yeah, that is great advice. Read Stoic philosophy. There are some great videos to get started, but a good beginner book is Meditation, or reading to Seneca's letters free online. Okay, philosophy sometimes confuses me, but they put a bunch of quotes. I'm only going to read 2 of these. They lose the day in the expectation of the night, and the night in the fear of the dawn. How poignant. These are just truths. I don't know how this would stop you from worrying. Maybe it just makes you like realize like you're losing. Yeah, you're losing your life by sitting there worrying about it. Authentic happiness is always independent of external conditions, okay? Vigilantly practice indifference to external conditions. Your happiness can only be found within. Stop aspiring to be anyone other than your own best self, for that does fall within your control. Interesting. I would say this is also analogous to just like letting shit go. Like, stop worrying about stuff that you can't control. Stop worrying about what people think. Like, who cares at the end of the day? You care. And that's what matters. This is definitely the time to see a therapist. A mental health professional will be unmatched. You don't need to necessarily take medication, just work things out. Try some self-therapy exercises. Yeah, cognitive behavioral therapy could help. Try to give you exercises to stop the worrying, and kind of touched on that with the catastrophizing, because that was something that I was doing. I was like, I can't like work on my own stuff because then I'll get fired and I'll be homeless and I'll have to move back to Michigan and live with my parents who don't have houses, so I can't really live with them, so I have to live with my aunt. It's like, whoa, this is like so down the line. Like, why? And it's also just like so far-fetched that this will happen. Don't go to the worst case scenario and worry about that, because it's not real. It's not real. Like, whatever you're worrying about, it's not real. And if it is real, then you can do something about it. Like, that's where you need to take action on the things that you're worrying about and stop like thinking about them in your head and get shit. I'm sorry. Was that startling? Okay. I try to directly interrogate intrusive worry thoughts. When a thought appears, be critical of it. Yes. Asking yourself, like, is this thing you're worrying about is actually something to be worried about? Like, brain, why are we actually worried about this? Like, is this gonna happen? Like, probably not. Okay, I like to take a step back and assess what I'm worrying about. Is this something I control? Is it something I need to solve right now? Is it something I can solve right now? If any of those are yes, then I take a step forward in solving it. And that usually makes me feel better. If not, then there's nothing better I can do about it, so there's no sense in worrying about something beyond my control. And this seems to be a repetitive, like, just the control of things that you're worrying about. Like, if you can, you need to take action and do something about it. If you can't, then you need to just let that shit go. I hope some of these tips help you to stop worrying if that's something that bothers you, and if something that comes up in your future. Try some of these things. Also, if you want to, talk to a mental health professional. But I hope this helps, and thank you again for watching my videos. Thank you again for subscribing, and I will see you again in the next one. Don't forget to like this video, comment, share, do all those cool YouTube things, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.